Like, I don't know. Everything they did, everything. Going to the studio, going to the recording studio, going to concerts. I learned about the string quartets and stuff like that. I was into the opera stuff. My mom was into opera heavy, and
hardcore opera.
Yeah, she took me to these, and she told me, she said, I took you there because I just wanted you to have that experience. You just need to know. It ain't all about them. It's not just all about the music that you listen to and like, and 'cause I was into everything, mostly R&B.
Did you learn to appreciate it?
Oh yes.
What age were you?
Yes. Yes. Oh, I don't know.
Your whole young childhood?
14, 13, 14, somewhere like that.
That's when you started going? Or?
That's when she started taking me to these concerts and stuff with that. And she would also take me to ballet, like these. They have.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Did you ever see the Nutcracker?
Yes, I did.
Where did you see it?
That was in New York.
Where? The Bushnell Theater or something?
No.
Carnegie Hall?
That was New York, I think. Carnegie Hall. Wasn't that New York?
What, the Bushnell?
No, Carnegie Hall.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. It sounds familiar.
Yeah. Anyway, went and saw that, and I was bored to death. But I sat there and watched it.
I saw it once. It was a big to-do. Not to chime in too much, but...
Yeah.
Tickets were expensive, and I got 4 of them. I think they were $100 a piece, and this is back in the 90s that we went.
That's real expensive back in those days.
And we went, Ernie and I, and our maid of honor and best man, Derek, Shilky, and Shanti. Shilky and Shanti. And we dressed up as high as we can go and went and saw the Nutcracker. I think I enjoyed it more than anybody. Yeah. And we did it around Christmas time, of course.
Yeah, that's when it was always over there.
And I do believe it was in New York, the Bushnell Theater. But Carnegie Hall sounds like it's also in New York.
I think that's in New York too, though. Anyway, that bored me to death. So I sat there and watched it.
Except for the rise of the sugar plum fairies. That was exciting. That was Tchaikovsky. I'm just kidding.
Oh man.
Wait, that is the Nutcracker. It's all Tchaikovsky, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck I was just thinking.
And then we she used to always take me to that stuff. By that time, Dad had passed on. That was like 14, 15, because that's when I started working at my mom's club.
When your dad passed?
Yeah, he had passed by that time.
Oh my goodness.
He died in 68.
Oh, that was the year I was born. You were young. Ernie was 16. Yeah. I thought that was young, but geez, 14. You must have been traumatized.
Oh man. And watching my mom, things getting rid of stuff at the house.
What happened to him?
He died of he had a tumor.
In his brain or something?
I think so, from what Mom was telling me.
Was it sudden?
Yeah. It was kind of sudden. Yeah, it was kind of sudden. Wow. Because he was doing okay for a while, and then a few weeks later, he went into the hospital for something, and then about a week after that, he had passed.
So it was more like a shock to you then?
Yeah.
Oh boy, I'm sorry to hear that.
Then my mom came home and told me, she sat me down and was talking to me and told me that she said Dad won't be coming home anymore. He's in his permanent residence.
And was this before her son passed?
Oh yeah, Robert was still alive. but Robert wasn't around. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't around. I didn't run into Robert until I was 20, 20, 21, something like that.
Okay, I'm
So it
confused.
was like 6 years after, about 5 years, because I was 13. I was turning. Dad died 2 weeks before my birthday. And I was going on 13. So
you were only 12.
I was only 12 at the time, yeah. And then 2 weeks. That's why October was always a bad month for me, because I lost my dad 2 weeks before my birthday. I lost my wife and son on my birthday. And it was just all this October shit. And I was like, and I had to deal with it. And then eventually I told my mom, I said, I can't handle this no more. And she paying somebody to follow me and shit. And
To follow you?
yeah, she thought I was gonna kill myself.
Aw.
So she paid some private detective or something. I found out. And then I brought it up to my mom. She said, well, I didn't know,
What else to do?
what to do. I can't follow you or be around you or whatever. And I'm like, and when I lost Darren, that crushed my world at that time.
So you said you wasn't gonna go to the hospital when your brother was passing because you had to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
But he passed before your dad, you said?
Who, my brother?
Yeah.
No, he died after my brother.
Way after, okay.
Yeah, way after. Way after. I got to know Robert. I mean, I spent time with him. I go down to the basement and stuff like that. But I don't know, he was in his own world. He'd get dressed or whatever, and sometimes if you didn't get downstairs early enough, he was already gone. The basement didn't have a door where it could be locked. They had a door where you can close it. And one time my mom asked me to get something from downstairs, and that's when I told her about Robert had some, bottles of liquor, and then she went down there and grabbed all of it and put it upstairs in the kitchen, and then came home. I guess she talked to him about that shit, whatever, and she wasn't gonna have it, in her house, and you're taking these pills and you're still drinking this shit, you know what I'm saying? And the doctor says if you don't leave this alone, this is gonna kill you. And that's what it did. That's what it did. And then by me being the age I was, and knowing, because I was hanging out, because after I started getting a little older, I knew Jerry, and I knew Marcus, and I just knew his friends, because his friends, every time when I was much younger, shit, if he had to hold on to me or watch me, I hung out with them. So that's who I knew. I knew all of them. I didn't hang out with my siblings, my peers. I didn't hang out with none of them. I didn't have no friends, really. I was pretty much with them most of the time, and then if I wasn't with them, I was home, or I'll get on the bike and ride. I used to ride that bike every fucking where, and I used to ride. That was my car, you know what I'm saying? And I had a Schwinn Manta Ray. I'll never forget it. And that was, as far as I was concerned, I even looked it up on the phone just to see what the Manta Rays looked like, because mine was green, and that was a badass bike. But I would leave home and go to Irvington, go to Hillside, go to East Orange, and ride all the way to Montclair. And in the car, you had to take the Parkway. Well, you can take the Parkway to Montclair, but that was at least, in the car, it was a 30, 40-minute ride in the car. On the bike, it was like, when you're on the bike, you're way away from home,
Well, you could go pretty fast on those bikes.
Yeah.
And you could take shortcuts.
Yeah, well, you couldn't get on no damn interstate, but you can sure go through different neighborhoods and stuff. I used to just ride. And there was only one guy, I forget who his name was. He was a friend of mine, but he was the only one, because Michael and Howard and them, they didn't want to ride. They said, man, you be riding too far, because I did. I like to just ride. And I would get on. Like I said, I would go to Irvington. I mean, all these areas. Mount Clair was where my grandmother lived. Cause my mom, I'll never forget my grandmother. One day I went. I said, "Shit, I'm over here by my grandma's house." I rang the doorbell and she came downstairs. She said, "What are you doing?" Did your mother know you out here on this bike? Girl, I used to ride the hell out that damn bike. I'll never forget it. I had no problem getting on that bike
Was she
and
happy
riding.
to see you though?
I was my grandmother's favorite. And she even told my mother that. She said, my mom told me, she said, "You are your grandmother's favorite. You can't do no wrong." And grandma would come down to the house, and mom had an apple tree, one of those green apples in the yard. And every time she come down there, she said, "You give me some of those apples," she said, "I'll make you an apple pie." Shit, I'd be all up in that goddamn tree.
I'll be right back.
And she cut them apples up and make apple pies, stay with us for the weekend. What you say?
I forgot about the orchid that Ernie bought me. I want to see if the cat's been munching on it.
Wow.
Go ahead.
So anyway, she would make me the apple pie, stay there the weekend, and then mom would drive her home. But I'll never forget when she asked me one time, when I was young, her and dad asked, you want, because I didn't have to go to summer school. I had fantastic grades. But my mom and dad was like, do you want? I would go to summer school because I get up in the morning, I ain't got shit to do. So I'm like, fuck it, I went to summer school, and some of the guys that had to go, that's where they were. So I used to go to summer school because it was only a half a day. I get out you had to be there at 8 or whatever. And I think we got out at 11 or 12, and then you got the rest of the day to, do whatever you do. And my mom and them asked me, "Would you want to stay? You want to go to your grandmother's and stay for the summer?" Shit. That was no question. Please, hell yeah. Grandma had the third floor upstairs, and I mean, she used to make her milk. She used to get this powdered milk called Alba, A-L-B-A.
Yeah.
And she used to put some type of cream with it or something, and that milk was the best tasting goddamn milk. My grandmother couldn't make enough of that milk for me.
Is that where the term Alba toast came from?
I don't know.
Like milk and crackers?
Yeah, but I don't know. But it was good milk. It was powdered milk. But my grandmother knew how to fix it up and make it taste good.
I gotta go.